Greetings, dear magnificent spirit soul. Woohoo! We're out here in the wild. Just great. Nobody's even out here. Can you imagine? It's just so great. You know, I'm always looking for Bigfoot. Mr. and Mrs. Bigfoot, just pass on by. You know what I mean? Anyway, my topic. Only imagine what you want to experience. This is big. Do you know how many people say, well, imagine if this happened to you? I say, I don't. Well, just wonder if you were over there. What would it be? Wonder if it had never worked out for you. What would that have been? Wonder if this person had gotten this and this didn't. Then imagine that. No. When you imagine something, your imagination is incredibly powerful because you're mocking up an actual physical reality in the vision area. So you're bringing that into manifestation. I think I mentioned once before, a couple of times maybe, but what really brought that home to me was many years ago. I was driving on Hollywood Boulevard in LA, and there was a big billboard with a dog leaning up against a police car, and the dog was the mascot of the LA Police Department. And the sign was, "Get involved in crime." And I went, no, I refuse. What are you? Oh yeah, you need a job. Those statements are hypnotic suggestions that are very compelling to people. Well, imagine if you had been there and this was happening to you. No, I don't choose to imagine what I don't want. Well, why not? Don't you know? Well, because I'm not interested in that. That's not my choice. And that's one of the challenges that we all have faced when you watch a video. Whether you're watching your computer screen or a movie screen or a TV screen, you're looking at pictures in a book, paintings, movies. I used to tell people, don't watch horror stories and violence because you're going to bring it on yourself. Now let's look what's in the world. You see? So how do they do it? Show people. Do you know how many pictures, images a child sees of violence by watching television and all of these kind of things, and then all the violence that comes from it, the fighting, the way the parents are with each other is like they're a sitcom or a tragedy, and the words that are going on and what they say to each other and the songs. It's like so many songs might have a nice melody, but I don't want to, those words. It's like I like Roy Orbison's voice, and then every song almost he has is how sorrowful he is and how he lost you again. And it goes, but I got a woman as mean as she could be. Now that one, I like that one. That's pretty cool. But anyway, not that I'm mean, but I'm strong. But I'm also gentle. Say you can be strong and gentle. This is all programming. You say, well, you can't be like this because blah 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 blah. And then you got to look at where they're doing get rid of gender. Why? That's part of the Baha'i faith. That some miracle course or something gives this. It doesn't really produce miracles. I'm saying it's against it, but it is moving people into having no gender, because then it will say that men and women's bodies are identical, and they're not. Because a female now doesn't mean people aren't getting womb transplants and they're getting this and that and this and that because they want to do that, or basically people do stuff because they get money for it. And that money then is going to give them the lifestyle they want, the sex they want, the drugs they want, the food they want, the drink, the alcohol, the people they want to be with, the stuff they want to do. And what happens is then people making money God. And then what do? You lose your own powers, because if you don't have the money, you don't think you can be it. You don't think you can feel good. And you don't think you can be satisfied because actually you don't have the money. So you got to feel depressed. You got to feel bad instead of, really? It's almost like this is like a basic education course and what you're not getting out there, that's when you have a school. A school shouldn't be the teacher stands up and tells everybody what to think and what they know, and how it helps them to become observers and witness and notice and own their own powers of creativity. It's not coloring in the lines. It's not being politically correct, because who's telling you that and who's telling you that? Everybody then keeps conforming and conforming. Why? Because they don't want to be different. They want to fit in. And then there's a law that's being made, but who's making the laws? Follow the money trail. Always follow the money trail. And most people, they don't do any of their research at all. They'll just take what they watch on movies and TV day in and day out. I killed my TV back in 1984. It was like, get rid of this crap. It just sucked my life force out of me. You got to be careful in all of this stuff. And so here's then again the key. You only image and imagine what it is you want to bring into your life and have in your life. Like I mentioned, I think a few videos ago about treasure mapping. And what was fun about the treasure map is that you could put the pictures of places where you'd like to go. In fact, there was this one woman who was taking my courses years ago, and she said she wanted to travel all these different places, but she didn't have any money to do that. I said, well, that doesn't have anything to do with anything. Put the pictures up. She did that. Then she got a job on a cruise ship, being a, what would you call it, social director. And she was able to go to every single place that she had put a picture of. And how does that work? It happens by divine magic, my dear. Now, if you're in the Reading area, I'm going to be teaching a class, the 8 Steps of Divine Magic, on January 13th. And if you missed that, you could probably also go to the Reading Center for Spiritual Living on your internet situation. And they might have a copy of the talk or such. But anyway, it's called 8 Secrets of Divine Magic. I'll be doing a seminar, and my morning talk is the Ultimate Prosperity Formula. And Redding, California, invite your friends. If you've got people around, Chico could come, Mount Shasta. You've got a lot of places out there. Anderson, Red Bluff, Cottonwood. I know you're going down there, different places. Where's this? But anyway, love to see all of you there. And when we have knowledge, a sacred knowledge, really great knowledge, all things are possible to us. And to realize the importance of your imaging. And it's so important not to watch, in a sense, the violence that's going on, because you see so many snuff movies on, television, like the people falling from 9/11 and the murder there that happened, and the people falling, and then people wanting to watch somebody get hit by a car all of a sudden. Why is that moment there between the person was in body and then left? There's this fascination with it because people have no idea what's going on. What they do is they believe in the movies, go to the light in the tunnel. If it comes from a new movie, pretty much, that's not what you want to do. And that, because you have to look at where's the money trail, and what's the point of all of that gets me to imagine that because it's on the outside? No. You have to become very astute and strong in yourself, because it's continually bombarding us everywhere. Images, movies, news, and then their news is all the same. Well, why would anybody go to the regular stuff when all people are saying the same thing? Does that make sense? Then who's the one determining? Well, you will find out if you look. Follow the money trail. And if you do that, you can find out just about anything and what's going on. And then you come back to the basic principles that we're teaching here. And why I say, let me say, these are not my opinions. This is a result of my experience and knowing and realizations of actually applying sacred knowledge that are not there for us to believe these statements, but to use as clues, as keys, as steps, as opportunities to then own who we are and bring forth all of that now. Only image, my darling, what you want to manifest. And do not allow anyone to take you into any tunnel or any place or any scenario or any ugly, mean, dastardly kind of a situation through the images and pictures and all of this. It's very, and in fact, I knew these people, their little boy, there he is in a cage basically made with a fence in the living room and a huge big screen TV, and that's his life. That's his life comes from there. This is pathetic, because what happens is all of those images and all of that sense is going. That's why it appears like there's so much craziness out there, is because these people are manifesting what is going through the mind, the directions they're getting from others, what people are telling them, hypnotic suggestions, statements that, well, you know, you'll never make it big in the world because you're too fat. Really? We're not fat. Nobody's fat at the level of who they are. 10,000 of us can fit on the end of a piece of hair, according to the Vedas. But the body? Yeah, well, what happens, this is your vehicle, and you're always beautiful, and the key is you want to be healthy. And when you're healthy and vital, you have energy, you have joy, you have happiness, you have spontaneity, you have enthusiasm, you have fun, because you're not living in the mind, and you're not bringing forth in your world what you don't want, because you're not agreeing with it, you're not accepting it, you're not taking it on, you're not producing it, you're not a victim, you're not a responder. I'm not a responder. That means you get to respond to everybody else. No, I'm an actor. I activate myself, you see. So all of these words are going on out there, people are saying and such, because it becomes the fad, or it becomes the tendency, or it's what we used to do or we didn't do. But right now is the first moment of the rest of your eternal life. And you are an eternal being. You cannot die. You are never born. You will never die. And therefore, now, the most important thing is you study this material. I know what I'm talking about here. And some people think, oh, that's nice. Everybody's just like that. Yeah, right. You got to go so deep, because you're not attached to what is true. You just want the truth. And there is absolute truth. You'll get a fakey religion. There's no absolute truth. It's your truth, my truth. This is pathetic. It's a bunch of people with opinions going around that are so weak and so helpless and so dumb that they are just continuously feeding the very thing that they don't want. And that's the key, is if you don't want it, don't feed it. If you don't want, you know what, you vote with your money. If you don't like that, but there, don't put any money over there. And empower your money where you do want it. You know, all the stuff they're putting out there that says you have to buy it because now you're a consumer. I'm not a consumer. No, I'm a divine being. When people say, you know, I'm a this and I'm a that, I say, that's nice, I'm a god. Or a goddess. What is it? You don't want to limit yourself. Those are even limiting words. Who you are is beyond words. Okay. It's in your knowing. So guess what? Only image what you want to bring in your life. Okay? Beauty, harmony. And put that beauty and harmony around what you view, what you watch, what you listen to, the food that you eat, and everything. It's like, create now your spiritual paradise, your pleasure, your divine home. And that then wherever you walk is holy ground, because you're in that consciousness. And you have to protect that consciousness, because consciousness manifests and consciousness is contagious. You get it from other people. Be strong in who you are. Only image and visualize and watch and hear and sense. Not that you don't know what's going on. That's not by saying your head's in the thing. But you don't get all involved in how that's working on all levels to make you afraid, to make you ignorant of what's happening, to make you powerless, to get you to go along, to get along. And you know what happens is people tend to be here longer time in the body. They think that it means sit on their butt and do nothing and get waited on. No, I don't let people carry my groceries at the market. Hey, man, I need the strength. I want it myself. I've got to do stuff. What are you doing here if you're not doing something? If you're not actively living and being who you are? Oh, I'm waiting until I go to heaven. Really, maybe your heaven could be here or your hell could be here. And then once you acknowledge who you are as a divine being, then you open up into that which is far beyond what we call heaven and hell, far beyond what we've been told by any kind of an institutionalized standard brand, whether it's a religion, a philosophy, a psychology, it's a government, it's a nation, it's any of that. That's all stuff. Okay? You want to know about you, right there where you are. So open yourself to all the knowledge, and I support you. I'm here. I have classes, I have workshops, retreats, do phone counseling and mentoring, and also I call it empowerment and enrichment facilitator. So I'm there for you. I'm using this. I'm sharing with what I do. Only imagine what you choose to bring into your life.